Greetings everyone. I know I sent you a video last Tuesday, but I didn't want to wait until tomorrow because I'm afraid I've got some sad news to impart. I've had a lovely week off last week, so I've returned renewed and refreshed. But I'm afraid that yesterday one of the brothers, Colin Tolworthy, died in hospital of COVID-19 early in the morning. Many of you will know Colin well, but for those who didn't, Colin had been living at the Charterhouse for nearly 10 years now. He was quite a private man who kept himself to himself, but he always had time for the other brothers and the staff, and he actually had a fantastic dry sense of humour. He embraced the Charterhouse community, and as a retired priest he did a lot in the chapel, and in fact when Reverend Nick Henderson was unable to continue to visit the Charterhouse, he took the Sunday service only a month ago. So he was very active to a very late stage. But as some of you know, we tried to persuade him to go to hospital around 10 days ago because he had severe breathing difficulties and heart issues. But he was adamant that he wanted to stay at the Charterhouse at home. But his condition then deteriorated, and last Tuesday he did have to go into hospital. I understand from some of the brothers that he texted them to say farewell, and I know that he texted some staff as well. So I feel sure from my conversations with him that he was at peace with the fact that he was dying. And this doesn't make it any less sad, but I think it is important to recognise. We are testing all staff who had contact with Colin, although he was self-isolating for about 2 weeks before he died. Thus far the results have all been negative, but we haven't had all the results back, and we haven't tested all the infirmary staff, which is obviously important. Obviously these are very tricky times in terms of marking this death, but the flag is at half-mast, and we're going to hold a minute's silence tomorrow at noon. Brooke will be tolling the bell to mark this occasion, but I've said that with distancing all the brothers can come out into Pensioners Court, and we will have a minute's silence at 12 o'clock tomorrow. The governors have also been informed of this, so that if you too would like to join us in that silence, I think that would be very special to recognise Colin and his life and contribution to the Charterhouse. With this news in the background, and bearing in mind the government's decision last Thursday, we have consulted, I've talked to Karen and all the staff here, and agreed that we will extend our lockdown until the 7th of May in line with the government guidelines. This may not be popular with some brothers, but most appreciate that this is for their benefit, and we're trying to come up with ways to keep their spirits up. So, for example, at the moment they pick up their lunch and supper in one hit at lunchtime, and we are now suggesting that they have 3 visits, so breakfast, lunch and supper, to get them out of their rooms, and obviously with this weather that hopefully will be a good outing. I've also got agreement from Kate that they can pick as many bluebells as they want to brighten up their rooms, and Tim Epps has suggested himself that the brothers write about their experiences at the moment, and that we include some of these on the website as a blog. So Charlotte's away on leave this week, but I'm sure she will be happy to agree to this, and in fact it's very much in line with, Gemma, what you were suggesting about recording this important time, which is part of history for future generations. So I'm delighted that that idea has come from the brothers, and I hope that some of them will respond to Tim's idea. The heading for the blog is going to be Words from the Margins, and I just delicately, without putting pressure on you, would be really interested if any of you felt able to put pen to paper or put fingers to keyboard, to actually think what the lockdown has meant for you, what it's been like being away from the Charterhouse, are there any silver linings? It doesn't need to be very long, it doesn't need to be a poem, it doesn't need to be anything, just whatever you want. So if you have a spare 20 minutes, just have a think about this and put your thoughts down, because we'd really love to include your contributions as well. I do hope you're continuing to cope with the challenges of working at home or being on furlough, and I know it's not easy. Those of you who still have a Charterhouse address will have received an email from Tolla to say your P60 is now available via MorePay. But I'm not sure those on furlough will have received this, so I'll ask Leslie to send it on. And if, like me, you have mislaid your MorePay password, just get in touch with Tolla to get it reset, because you may need the P60 for tax purposes and so on. So before I go, I just wanted to show you a sample of some of the wonderful new floral face masks that the costume department of the National Theatre have been making for the community. This is rather lovely, isn't it? So I will sign off by saying stay home and stay safe, and I really look forward to seeing all your faces at the next All Staff meeting next week. Thank you.